Hello, I'm Executive Chef Joseph Schultze. Welcome to our kitchen. Today I'd like to share with you my recipe and technique for making a savory bread pudding. I know you're probably thinking bread pudding is always sweet. Well, not always. Just like custards, we can do savory and sweet. Essentially, this savory bread pudding will be very much like a stuffing that you would put inside of your turkey or chicken, pork loin, whatever. So the one we're going to make today is a mushroom and leek bread pudding. So join me now as I show you how I prepare this amazing side dish. Let's begin with preheating a sauté pan over medium-high heat and begin to cook our leeks. We're gonna cook these for about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, just enough until they soften up for you. Well, here you are, leeks are cooked. Now what I wanna do is I'm gonna dump them into a bowl. Then we're going to add more oil to the pan and cook the mushrooms. Well, here we are, mushrooms cooked. Let's go ahead and season with a little bit of salt. And we're now going to pour that into the bowl with the leeks. Well, now we have our leeks and mushrooms into the bowl. Go ahead and mix them around a little bit. I then like to add some truffle oil, maybe a tablespoon. Then I like to add couple tablespoons of duck fat. Duck fat is really gonna enhance this flavor and make it amazing. I then will add my herbs. I have scallion, parsley, thyme, and ramps in here. Fortunate enough now, this time of year, ramps are popping up. Go ahead and give this a quick turn. Now we will add our croutons. Let's go ahead and mix this thoroughly. Now I will take a bread loaf pan and grease the inside of it with some butter. Feel free to use any type of pan you like, depending on the amount that you're making. You could use a hotel pan, you could use Dutch oven, casserole dish, whatever. It's all up to you. Grease. I'll go ahead and add a little of my shaved Parmesan. And now we will transfer our bread pudding to the pan. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and level this out a little bit, press down. Now we need to mix our liquids. So here we will add milk and heavy cream in equal amounts. And our eggs. Go ahead and whisk together. Now that the eggs have been mixed into the milk and cream, I will then add my cheese. And now carefully pour this over top. As you can see, I ended up changing pans. The other one was just a little bit too small. Now we're going to put this into a preheated oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit and bake this for about an hour to an hour and a half. Wow. Well, now that our bread pudding is in the oven, let's make a sauce. The bread pudding can be served as an entree or as a side dish. Either case, I like to have a sauce with mine. Soubise or not Soubise? That is the question. Soubise is a classical French sauce that is a bechamel and has pureed onions added to it. Another sauce I like to serve with it is a Mornay sauce, which is a bechamel finished off with either a Mornay cheese, Gruyere cheese, something of that nature. We are going with Soubise, and today we're going to make a black garlic Soubise. And those of you that don't know what black garlic is fermented garlic. So join me now. Let's begin the sauce. Well, first I have a pan preheated over medium-high heat. We're gonna melt our butter and then add our onions to cook. Now that the onions are slightly turning translucent, I then like to add my black garlic. And I also like to add a little bit of water. So we will now simmer this for about 10 minutes until the liquid is almost all gone. Well, here we are, now that the onions are cooked and the liquid is all set. Let's go ahead and transfer this to a variable speed blender and puree it. Well, here we are. We have our bechamel ready to go, already strained and everything. And now I like to add my Soubise, or add my onion puree to make the Soubise. And we'll go ahead and stir this. And then I like to bring it to a simmer for a couple of minutes just to get back some of that nice consistency. Because when you add this to it, it tends to water it down a bit. And once we bring it to the simmer, our sauce will be ready for service. Well, there you have my mushroom and leek bread pudding. As I mentioned before, it can be served as an entree or served as a side dish. Essentially, it is very similar to stuffing. You know, as there are so many combinations and flavors you could do with this. I could even add sausage to this. So typically when I make my holiday stuffing for the turkeys, my stuffing usually has the croutons that we make homemade, of course. But I like to start with a good Italian sausage. Then I will add mushrooms and mirepoix. So mine has a whole variety of vegetables and flavors going on in there. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's demonstration, and I hope you give this recipe a try. And you like what we're doing, please subscribe and give us a little thumbs up. Yod vayat.